So one huge positive over one Genshin type system UPD doesn't reset if you get a 5-star earlier than 100. It resumes. No. Hold on. Worse than Wu's weapon banner because it has a 50-50 chance on the weapon banner. Bro, how? Misinformation. It's quite the thing to navigate online. We gotta admit, and it also can poison the well in how we go about our preconceived notion of something, of a product that's about to come. And Silver Palace is no exception to this. Now, I did mention when we covered Silver Palace's gacha system that they are based on rumors. They are based on rumors, so that we're going to have to take them a little bit with a grain of salt until the beta test actually launches and we get to see everything before our eyes. Now, the beta test seems to have launched. We have beta testers revealing the gacha system for everybody. And there seems to be some truth to the rumor. Was in the 100 pity. They have changed 120 to 100. So that's true. The rumors were correct there. But apparently there's a little bit of confusion still when it comes to the 50-50, because that is the real issue that a lot of players are complaining about. There's a huge 50-50 fatigue. And the fact that when we see a new gacha, we expect it to fix and build on the progress of other titles, for example, NTE, of trying to introduce better, more tolerable predatory practices that rather than go backwards with stuff like, for example, Arknights Enfield's gacha system, which is obviously so far in the space the least free-to-play friendly. If you're a spender, it's pretty decent from what I hear. Even then, some people are saying even as a spender, it's not the best. But all in all, it seems to be the case for the most part, from what I understand. But free-to-plays, which are dominating the majority of the player base in the gacha space, typically, the AKE system is something that is disliked by many, the majority. But the Hoyo ones are okay-ish. NTE is definitely the best currently. Now, it seems that there is still some confusion. I try to understand things a little bit. So to get it with you guys, a lot of people are talking about it. I have seen Genazad's review of the game. Apparently the game is pretty good. If Genazad is saying it's good, I'll take his word for it. The gameplay seems to be amazing. I think we wouldn't even be talking about this game if it wasn't for we like what we see. We just need to make sure that the gacha box be checked there as well next to the gameplay box. Because the gameplay box, I think, is checked. We like what we see. We just need the gacha system to be good, though, for it to be a step in the right direction, because this game has the chance to dominate the entire gacha space if they are to do things right. And it is our duty, our sworn duty as players, to make sure we give the developers feedback so that they can do just that. And hopefully they can be cooperative, flexible developers that can meet us at least somewhere in the middle, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend otherwise. Obviously, the developers are under pressure from investors, etc. There are multiple forces at play in why they don't necessarily always go all the way for what the players want. That's just the reality of things. If you enjoyed this type of content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to not miss any updates.
I guess I better go subscribe to VXV Gacha.
Now, I've been reading on this and to understand, and it's kind of confusing because they say limited time events share a feature rate up 5-star character guarantee mechanic. What the hell does that mean? And then they go up to 100 revelation guarantees at least one current featured 5-star character. So considering the implication here that you can get 5 stars and up to 100, there is a guarantee to get the featured. They mentioned the featured. It's kind of screaming to me that there is a degree of 50-50. Now, I was confused until Styx gave us a good small update here from the developers after he asked, it seems. Based off the information they supply, it is confirmed that there is no 50-50, because it is indeed the case. You do not read about a 50-50 system here, but it is clear that they are mentioning you can still get standard characters. So what's the deal? But you can pull standard characters on the way to the 100 guarantee. Therefore, if I get an early, I am not automatically rewarded by simply getting the character like I did in NTE. I do not like this at all. This is a decent middle ground, sure, but it feels like it's not really it. because we hate the 50-50. As in, at the moment I see gold, I do not even want to question whether or not I can lose it. If I get lucky, I should get lucky all the way without having to go, oh my god, oh snap, can I get the character or not? But again, like I said earlier, there are multiple forces at play, clearly. So they're trying to meet us in the middle. I think devs have listened, but not quite. Because yes, there is no 50-50, but what are the odds? So what are the percentages of me? Is it 75-25? Is it 90-10? What is it? Well, apparently we don't know yet, it seems. So I don't know about this. I feel like if I see gold, I should just get the character. That's it. Like, I'm a simple man. I do not want to keep playing games. I see gold, I win. Period. But here we are. So to elaborate, you can win multiple 5-star characters on the way to the 100 guarantee without resetting the guarantee. That's honestly pretty good. So does this carry over? Does guarantee carry over? I think that's a very, very important question. Now, we can't necessarily say it because we only have one banner, so like we can't necessarily confirm that. But I think that is a very important piece of information that we need. All right, here we are. We got good old Gacha Smack pulling up here. He got some of this stuff here. Let's read on. So 100 pulls hard pity to guarantee featured character. Pity also carries over to future banners. I don't know where he got this information, but I'll take his word for it because he is in the beta. He will be playing later. He might be sponsored. He's just not saying it, maybe. I'm not sure. But if it is indeed confirmed that you can have pity carrying over, this fixes a lot of concerns we've had. So they are meeting us somewhere in the middle, and it's okay. So I feel like it can be tolerable. But we can still push a little further considering we're still in beta test 2 and it's still supposed to have a beta test 3, Genezad said. And considering how the game is looking like, we can easily and safely project that it's going to be out either by the end of the year or the beginning of the next year. Therefore, we have enough time for them to cook up and, let's just say, for them to revise their strategy when it comes to the gacha system. So apparently we can lose multiple times on the way to featured characters, not a 50-50, but similar concept of the Gamba stuff. 60 less pulls to do than Wuwa for max pity, 80 less than Genshin. Oh, so you're talking about if you are to lose the 50-50 and you are to go double pity. Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. Like if you are to lose, see, here's the thing. What annoys me with this type of argument is that shouldn't even be a concern anymore. Like, just because the bar is that low, we shouldn't stop basing what we want and at least try to cope considering with how low the bar is over there. You know what I mean? I feel like NTE just went ahead and did it the proper way, exactly how players want it. I'm still with that system. Like, just keep it as clean and as concise as possible. Like, it's just good. Keep it that way. It's straight up, straightforward. So one huge positive over Wu Genshin type system, your pity doesn't reset if you get a 5-star earlier than 100. It resumes. Yeah. Hold on. Can I choose which unlock I can do, or is it going to be like Genshin? Because I think the unlock in terms of copies should be like NGE as well. That's a concern I think a lot of people are not talking about. We should have that too, because I think it's not the case, and that's a negative. But if this is going to be the case, I think it emphasizes a lot in players getting dupes. And I think if I were to get a dupe, I should have the ability, just like NGE has introduced, to choose which unlock I get to do for my character to be better at this particular thing, part of their kit, more than this particular part of their kit, considering what I'm trying to do with them. It adds more flexibility to the unit when it comes to its value in your account. So I think if they're going to do this, which is a massive upgrade, this is something obviously the AKE system had an issue. A lot of people had an issue with the AKE system on. This is it. 0.88% chance to acquire a 5-star per pull. Wu race, that kind of sucks. Should have had it like NTE because, like I said before, on the long run, since you're going to be playing this game for a couple of months, if not a couple of years, this percentages plays a massive role considering the amount of rolls you're going to be doing over time. So I think this should have been kind of like NTE, because I feel like I got a lot more earlies than NTE than I ever did on the other gachas. It tells me that the percentages of this matters tremendously. Hence why they have it so low. It's done on purpose. It's by design. Because of the rules of probability, unfortunately. Hence why they went with, if you got an early, well, at least it's a 5-star. right? At least it's a 5-star, but they don't want probabilities to get in the way of their bottom line. Because if you get an early and you win a 5-star, the featured 5-star, and you are guaranteed it, well, that's money they're losing. They don't want probabilities to get in their way. You see what I'm trying to say? So this is just their sneaky way, because it's all math. Like this is all calculated, ladies and gentlemen. All of this, all the things you see here are done on purpose by design to maximize profit. Hence why they do this type of middle ground stuff, so that they can work on the math to maximize profit. 80 pulls to guarantee weapon with a 50-50. So for the weapon banner, all right, next, the weapon banner, 80 pulls to guarantee weapon with a 50-50 system, but pity resumes if you lose. Again, you can get 2 copies of a weapon, which is massive. That's huge. So sunk cost fallacy is going to be quite the thing over here. And here's the thing, pity carries over for future banners, but does it carry over for the guarantee? Because that's kind of the issue with the Arcanized Infield. But considering the wordings on what I'm reading here, I think it does. It seems like it does. I don't see why it shouldn't, considering what I'm reading here. I think it does. If that is, huge, massive W, man. I can get the featured, keep the pity for my guarantee for the next one. For example, if I get an early around 50, well, the next banner, I can just spend 50 and guarantee myself the thing. That's a huge upgrade if that's the case. Massive W if that is the case. Worse than Wu's weapon banner because it has a 50-50 chance on the weapon banner. Bro, how? Why? See, this is what I'm talking about. It's that math. It's that they are so going against probabilities, man. They are taking probabilities into the equation so hard, bro. They are. Because think about it, because you gotta understand where they're coming from. Okay, so I'm gonna have a bunch of players that are gonna be pulling for months. If they get earlies, that gives them a huge advantage in terms of not interacting with the gacha system to the extent to which we want, where they feel more incentivized to spend, which is what we want. We need to reduce the chances of them getting the featured stuff earlier, so that way we can get them where we want them to be. Because if they don't, that just hurts our bottom line. Now, we need to do that without it being too annoying, and hence why the middle ground we're seeing here. Because obviously this is a middle ground. You can still see there's some shadiness going on, because I feel like the non-shady one is NGE. NGE is clear. Hey, yo, we did exactly what you wanted. You see gold, you got it. Whatever the banner, I think, except maybe the weapon banner. Surprisingly, come to think of it, I think the weapon banner also has that. But I think the rate ups are so high. Like, you can get, I got like 2 5-star weapons as I was going to 80. Like, the rate ups are very high. It reminds me of Arcanized Enfield low key in terms of the weapon, but that's also done on purpose. And one thing that allows me to forgive the NGE weapon system for is the amount of pulls you can get for free, because you can use your fawns on them. I have like 110 pulls. I'm close probably to 160 very soon, probably in the next patch or something. That's a lot of pulls we can get for weapons. I think even on the shop reset, you get 5-5, and I think you get like 10-20 or something like that for weapons. They really give you a lot of weapon pulls, and even more so through fawns. So I'm more inclined to be a little more tolerable towards that weapon system. And if they were to do something like NGE in terms of generosity, again, it goes back to the amount of generosity these developers are going to be giving us. Because I feel like a very, very important question that needs to be answered as we look into this is, how many pulls do we get as free-to-plays in every patch? I think that is very important, because through that, for example, if I were to just get like 70 or 80 pulls, and it's 100 guarantee, well, that's kind of tricky, isn't it? It's kind of tricky, isn't it? Because here's the thing, you are guaranteed to see gold at 100. I don't think they're saying you can see gold before 100, even at soft pity. So another thing actually that I haven't read, and I think that people are kind of not mentioning here, whether it's Six or Smack here in his stuff, we still gotta watch the video, but I'm not gonna do that, unfortunately. Time is a little tired, as you can see, it's getting dark over here. We're not talking about soft pity here, and I feel like it's very important to know when soft pity is, meaning Do I get 2 5 stars as I'm heading to the 100 guarantee? Considering what I'm reading, it's trying to say no, but I think that's a shame. That's a pity. Yeah, that's a pity if they were to do it like that, because they are talking about like a 1.8 chance. When I saw the sticks post, base rate is 0.8 with a maximum of 1.8 bonuses and duplicates to reward you with mind shards. So like they're talking about with a maximum of 1.8%. I think that's pity. Like the more you get close to the 100 guarantee, they increase it like that. But that's still very slim. It's like, what the hell are we even doing there? So yeah, no mention of soft pity. That's just something I'm not a huge fan of. It's cost 360 gems to do a pull. Virtually irrelevant info for now. Yes, it's totally irrelevant. We don't know how many pulls the developers are going to give us and how this gem works. It's just, look, every gacha has their own number system. The reason why you see similar ones to the Hoyo ones is just for the sake of familiarity. I would not be surprised if they revert to the Hoyo one. I would not be surprised, but they chose. It's kind of like AKE. Arcanized Enfield has their numbers, etc. It's just, it doesn't necessarily matter. What we don't know is the pull resource acquisition based, shop prices based, and banner length. I think banner length are probably going to be like Hoyo. I would not be surprised. Maybe 2 weeks. 2 weeks is something I personally am a fan of. And pull resource acquisition is probably going to be the thing to look out for, in my opinion, because, well, these games are majorly dominated by free-to-play players, understandably so, because these are marketed as free-to-play games, and that type of stuff matters a lot, as we can see from the latest Genshin Impact drama when it comes to the pulls. So yeah, there it is, man. All in all, this is a huge step in the right direction. It is. We're not going to sit here and pretend and just scoff at it and go, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's to hell with Silver Path. No. I think this is a great thing. There's clearly attempts at meeting us in the middle, which is exactly what I said before if you've been keeping up with the channel. Obviously, these devs are going to attempt to meet us in the middle and not necessarily give us everything the way we want to. And the reason is simple. Once again, not only are there multiple forces at play, but also they're going to have to, let's just say, play as much with the math as possible to make as much money as possible. That's just business. I'm not going to necessarily take it personally. I could easily expect, I did tell you guys, this is the behavior that we were going to see from them. This is classic. It is what it is. Now, I think our duty is to still stand on business. I think if you are to get a 5-star, you could just still take advantage of the guarantee. And if that guarantee still goes to the next banner, which I think it is considering what I'm reading, but you never know. I'm just trying to remain cautious because there was this thing here, if I'm not mistaken, limited time event rate of 5-star character guarantee mechanic, which resets once you obtain a featured 5-star character, which is weird. I don't understand this because they are talking about something about a reset, which kind of contradicts what we know about pity, as in, like, you can still get the guarantee even if you get an early 5-stars. Like, there's some degree of contradiction here with some of the wordings they've used. But anyway, hence why I'm remaining a little bit cautious on everything we have right now. And I feel like we just need for the dust to settle a little more before we can really take it on. Hopefully, did the devs respond? You know what? Hold on. Let me take a quick peek. I'm looking at their Twitter. Unfortunately, they have not made any response. They're just talking about that the beta is up, which is a big deal, of course, but unfortunately, no response about some of the questions we may have right now. I would not be surprised if they really tackle all this in their first ever live stream. They're obviously going to do one eventually, where they're going to talk about a lot of what the players are talking about right now vis-a-vis the game. So I can't wait for that day. But for now, considering what we have, considering some of the wordings they're using, I don't know, man. I feel like there's more clarity to everything that we can expect now, that's for sure, but still some blur going on still. I don't know, but that's just me though. Maybe I'm being a little bit too cautious and not allowing myself to get a little too excited, considering the poisoning of the well that the rumors may have made, considering, you know, because, well, technically they were correct. Maybe there's no 50-50, but you can still lose if you see gold before the guarantee. So technically they weren't necessarily wrong. But so yeah, that's just me though. That's just some of the concerns I have. The wording is weird. Call me a lawyer. I don't know, but some of the wordings there kind of feel contradictory to some of the things that the CCs are saying. So I don't know, man. I don't know. That's just me, though. If you know, you're sure, please let me know in the comments. I would love to know that, yes, you can lose the 50-50, get to guarantee and get the character. I would love to know that if I were to get the character before guarantee, I can move to the next banner and still just use that guarantee that I've already established in the previous patch to get the new character. I would love to know that is possible. And if that is the case, I think that is the new standard. Even NTE needs to apply. That's right. That's an upgrade and that's progress. And that's something we should encourage 100%. But that's just me, though. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Be seeing you.